Ever noticed how some of the highest paid remote jobs are, well, kind of boring? Today, we are putting that to the test. We're throwing 7 overlooked jobs into a showdown to prove that boring can actually mean stable, in demand, and, yeah, surprisingly high paying. So, let's get into it.
Look, it's easy to get caught up chasing those cool online jobs, right? The ones that sound amazing and everyone's talking about. But what if that's the completely wrong way to go about it? Because here's the thing. Those cool jobs, the competition is insane. Meanwhile, these so-called boring jobs that nobody's talking about, they're pretty much always hiring, precisely because no one even knows to look for them. And that right there is the opportunity. Less competition, way more stability, and you know what? Often, much, much better pay.
Okay, so to figure out which of these jobs really comes out on top, we need a way to score them. So we've set up a 5-point framework. Think of it like the official rules of the game for our job showdown. So each job is going to be judged on 5 key things. First up, earning power. Then, how easy is it to actually get started? That's our beginner score. We'll look at long-term growth potential, its survivability against AI, and finally, and this is a big one, the freedom factor.
All right, so who are the contenders in this showdown? We found 7 remote jobs that fly under the radar but are ready to go head-to-head. Let's meet them.
In the ring tonight, we have the short-form strategist, the customer service coordinator, a remote tech specialist, the funeral sales specialist, yep, you heard that right, a statistics validator, a remote setter, and finally, the content risk reviewer. That is quite the lineup.
All right, let's kick things off with the round I know you're all waiting for, earning power. Which of these jobs puts the most cash in your pocket right from day one? And the numbers are in. The content risk reviewer jumps out to an early lead with a pretty impressive $80,000 average salary. Not far behind is the funeral sales specialist at $75K. And get this, while that's the average, top performers in funeral sales can clear over $106,000 a year just by hitting their targets. The potential there is absolutely huge.
Now it's time for round 2, the beginner score. In other words, how easy is it to actually land one of these jobs if you don't have a ton of experience or some fancy degree?
And we have a tie for first place. Both the short-form strategist and the remote setter come in with a massive 9 out of 10. I mean, for a remote setter, a lot of companies will literally train you from scratch. And for a strategist, come on, if you spend your evenings scrolling TikTok, you probably already have the strategic eye you need to spot what's going to go viral.
A strong start is great, but what about 5-10 years down the road? Round 3 is all about growth potential. We want to know which of these jobs has the biggest runway for your career and your bank account.
Whoa, a perfect score. 2 of our contenders just completely aced the growth category. One of them is a role that literally every single business needs to function, and the other is a skill that companies are just absolutely desperate to hire for.
So what makes these 2 so powerful? Well, they're basically indispensable. Every single business, I don't care if it's big or small, needs customer service. That makes a coordinator invaluable. And a statistics validator? Think about it. One wrong number in an ad campaign can trigger a multi-million-dollar lawsuit. That makes your fact-checking skills pretty darn priceless.
All right, now for the round that is on everyone's mind, survivability. In an age of AI and automation, which of these jobs is actually going to stick around? This is the ultimate stress test.
And this quote really says it all. AI is powerful, for sure, but it just can't replicate a genuine human connection. It can't comfort a grieving family member, and it can't understand deep emotional nuance. I mean, it's never lived a human life, so how could it possibly understand things like death or real frustration? And that is exactly why 2 jobs here get a perfect 10 out of 10 for survivability. The funeral sales specialist, which is all about empathy, and the content risk reviewer. Because let's be honest, AI has failed again and again to grasp the context and nuance you need to moderate content effectively.
We have made it to our final round, the freedom factor. And this isn't just about working from home. We're talking about true, location-independent, design-your-own-life kind of flexibility. And would you look at that? A massive score just came in for our final round. One of these jobs practically laps the competition, pulling in a near-perfect 9.5 out of 10. And the winner for freedom is the short-form strategist. I mean, it just makes sense. At the end of the day, your clients don't care if you're working from an office in Texas or a beach in Thailand. All they care about are the results.
As long as you keep delivering those viral-worthy video ideas, you can work from literally anywhere on the planet.
Well, the rounds are over, all the scores are in, now it's time for the final verdict. But the real question here isn't just which job won. It's about figuring out what your winning hand looks like.
Just take a look at the full scoreboard. You know what's so fascinating? There's no single runaway winner here. Almost every single job that we looked at is a champion in at least one category.
And that really brings us to the most important point of all of this. The best job on this list, it's not the one with the highest overall score. It's the one that scores the highest in the categories that matter the most to you.
So let's break it down based on what you might be looking for. If you crave maximum freedom, the short-form strategist is the clear winner. If you're chasing the highest pay potential, the funeral sales specialist takes the crown. Need something that's just easy to get into? The remote setter is a fantastic place to start. And if you want maximum future security against AI, the content risk reviewer is pretty much unbeatable.
So after seeing the whole showdown, all the numbers, you've really got to ask yourself which of these overlooked, so-called boring jobs actually holds your personal winning hand. The answer for you is right there in the data.